and the righteous grieve because of the state of our people, man. I grieve because of our people, man. You know? And we're going to go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to keep it rolling, man. I had an argument with my maid. She can be a little clamorous sometimes. She runs her damn mouth. If you want a good idea of how much of a demon she can be, go to my video, Sow Not Among Thorns. Go to my video, Sow Not Among Thorns, okay? I just saw this shit today. And look in the comments. You're going to see that demon. That's how a woman are, man. Look at that. You're going to see how out of order these women is, man. But, had an argument where she told me she would not submit. That's another problem with you so-called Judite woman, man. The Lord's going to really humble you, woman. You're going to lose everything very shortly. One day you're going to wake up, your car's not going to start. Your phone's not going to work. Your light's not going to cut on. Darkness is going to cover the land, and you're going to be at ground zero. And you're going to realize you needed a man, preferably a man of the Lord, because we are comparable to fine gold, and you're going to see it. Okay? But that's another lesson. But me and my wife had argued about, she told me straight up she wasn't going to submit to what I was saying and what being argumentative, being a demon, okay? And she said, because we're not married. I've been with this woman 10 years. You understand? But these women don't understand what marriage is. Okay? Because a lot of these married women, their beds are still defiled and their kids are still cursed. Okay? Because of having that bed defiled. You see that often in the Christian church. Because these women get married 2, 3, 4 times. When clearly it's unlawful to do that. Okay? Now let me go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. So we understand what marriage is, okay? Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Okay? Let's parallel that with Ephesians 5 and 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Let's parallel that with Exodus 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Okay? So basically, if you meet a woman, you entice her, you spit some game to her, and she is not already married or taken by another man, if she's a virgin and you lie with her and have sex with her, she becomes your wife. So sex is the consummation of marriage. Now, it is common in our culture that we party and turn up for the celebration of a union, but that is like the wedding reception. You will find nowhere in the Bible that any man should bow before a woman and put a ring on her finger. That is Esau's philosophy. That is Edom's philosophy. That is Babylonian philosophy. And that's not going to get us nowhere. Okay? Okay? So we need to understand that first and foremost. Another reason that the bed is often defiled is through interracial relationships, man. And we all know, especially within the last 6 years, it has been a huge fashion and a huge statement for the daughters of Zion to be dealing with these Edomite men, with the likes of Crystalline Kerosene and the likes, they deify, and to this day I still see it, they deify Esau. You understand? But as we know that the nationality of the child and the congregation and the seed of the child is through the father, it's a lot of chocolate covered Edomites out here. Okay? And it adds confusion. Okay? And if we go to Deuteronomy 7 and 3, we're going to talk about that. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. As men of Yarsharahl, these women of other nations can only be concubines, man. They can only lawfully be concubines. They cannot be put as wives. Now, a lot of women will get mad and talk shit about concubines and the things that are polygamous in nature. But honestly, when it all boils down to it, your opinions don't really matter because it's all lawful. We dealing with the law. Okay? And the irony of it all is that when you was handed sexual liberation from Esau, you tossed your virginity out the door before you were 16 years old. A lot of these women tossed their virginity out the door before they were 16 years old. You have children by all these different men. You feel as though you can be sexually liberated and be polyamorous, and you can have multiple wives and multiple men. And y'all even brag on it. You got a man who fix up stuff. You have a man who's a mechanic. You have a man who lay down a pipe. You got a man to trick on you. You have all these different type of men. So you're brainwashed because that's wicked. Yahweh Shai never ordained that type of liberty to women. But he has unto men. That's what concubines were. Gentile woman. Okay? And it is what it is. We ain't dealing with your feelings. We don't care about how you feel about it to all you women who might get upset. Okay? But you definitely should not be going unto these heathen men. Okay? And it's also proven that a lot of biracial children be having mental issues, man. They be having mental issues, man. Bipolar disorders and other demonic disorders. Because you're mixing a holy DNA in the holy bloodline with that which is a bloodline that is different from yours. Okay? You're mixing a golden bloodline with the bloodline of those who are lesser than you. Okay? And let's go to Tobit chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy father, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are the children of the prophets. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers, for the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and the seed shall inherit the land. So, brothers, you shouldn't be wifing up these Edomite women. They should be nothing but concubines at the best. They should not have the honor to be your wives. Okay? And now that I done cut on the brothers, we already know. See, but there was no swirling movement with the brothers, man. I gotta keep it real. That was more so going on with you daughters of Zion. And y'all still deify Esau. Y'all still love the little mixed babies. When Serena Williams got married to that white dude, it was like, ooh, y'all was all on it. High-fiving each other, feeling like you one up in the world. With Meghan Markle, even though she's an Edomite, she's a chocolate-covered Edomite because her father's a white man. Y'all was high-fiving each other, thinking you're one up in the world. Y'all love that shit. Y'all love it. It's a slave mentality, and y'all love it. Okay? Y'all do. But that's horrible. You shouldn't be doing that. And your children are going to be cut off for that. All these chocolate-covered Edomites, they're going to suffer the same judgment of Esau, which will be ultimately cut off by the slaughter at the end of it all. And that's Obadiah chapter 1, verse 9. And in various other places of the scriptures. But I'm going to continue. Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. Now therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance unto your children forever. So when you're dealing interracially, okay, and you taking these strangers to be your wives and to be your husbands, okay, you're not solidifying a good future for your children, man. Okay, but like I said, and I can prove it, but I don't have it in this lesson. These Gentile women can, and it is lawful for them to be concubines. And they're going to be concubines in the kingdom. Thus says the scripture. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 2. You can start there because they're going to be handmaids. And you don't sit around and play patty cake with handmaids and servants, okay? You have your way with them. You own them, okay? All right? And we all know Solomon's sin was not that he dealt with heathen women. It's that he built altars for them and sacrifices to the idols of their gods. That's what Solomon went off. But it was very common practice for a man to have concubines. Okay, because it is our Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai given right to be liberated sexually, but not you woman. And the reason is It's for the reason I'm doing this lesson. The beds become defiled, and likewise so do the children. Okay? You women are supposed to be virgins. You're supposed to be chaste. You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to be going relationship to relationship, bearing children from all these different seeds. You are defiled, and you will be judged as a whore and an adulteress. Okay? And it's just the truth. It hurts your feelings, but oh well. I read it to you earlier. You know what? I'll go back to it. Just so y'all don't try to get mad at me. Get mad at the word. Sirach chapter 23, verse 23. For first, she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly, she hath trespassed against her own husband, and thirdly, she hath played the whore in adultery, and brought children by another man. Okay, boom, there you go. I just proved it. So you can keep your opinions unto yourself, because we don't operate. The men of the Lord don't operate like that. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and give another example of marriage, because if I talk about the things that defile the bed, we got to look at how to keep the bed righteous, right? I got to talk about both sides. So let's go to Genesis chapter 24, verse 63 through 67. Okay? And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, What man is that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, It is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, then took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Now, if you really want to know the whole story, I'll paraphrase it. Basically, Abraham sent his servant off to find Isaac a wife. Okay? The servant went off, found Rebekah, who was of kin to Abraham. Okay? So even Isaac and Rebekah, they were distant kin. You know what I mean? But they was kin to Abraham nonetheless. You know? Keeping the holy seed line, pretty much. But the servant went and got Rebekah from her family and brought her back. And Isaac was meditating in the field because, Sarah had passed away. His mother had died. And Rebekah saw him. He saw Rebekah. She lighted off the camel and asked the servant who had got her for Abraham, for Isaac, pretty much. Who is this guy that's walking in the field to meet us? It was Isaac, right? And she was attracted to him. So what did she do? She covered herself. She took a veil and covered herself. That's how you know that's a woman of the Lord, man. She didn't pull down her blouse so Isaac could see her breast line. She ain't sexualized herself. She covered herself in modesty. You understand? That's what a real woman does. A real daughter of Zion, man. Leave some things to the imagination. That humbleness, that meekness, that's holy right there, man. You don't see that this day in 2019. And Isaac brought her into his mother's tent, and he handled his business. And she became his wife. Genesis 24, verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. He loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Okay? Did it say Isaac got down and bowed down to her and gave her a ring? No. He popped her, and that was it. Sex is a covenant. When your hymen is intact, woman, and a man puts his rod inside of you and you bleed on his rod, that is a blood covenant to one another, that you now belong to him, and now that he's obligated to you to provide for you and take care of you and love you the same way, and if you can receive it, that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, how we rely on him, how he cares for his men and takes care of us. You know what I mean? Yeah, indeed. But that's if you can receive that, man. But let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10 to 11. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. Okay? You women don't have the right to divorce, first of all. And Esau knows this. So what did Esau do in the 90s? He gave y'all no-fault divorce. This is why you shouldn't have the right to divorce, because 70% of the time, you're going to leave for any damn thing. Irreconcilable differences. Come on, that was the setup from Esau the devil, and you follow his philosophies. You follow them devilish philosophies, and you love it here. You love Babylon. You love these philosophies that Esau gave you, woman. Okay? But according to the Lord, you're not supposed to depart from your husband. You don't have the right to divorce. But if you do depart, if he's just an unbearable monster, if he's just unbearable for you to deal with, you're supposed to remain unmarried, okay, or be reconciled. You're supposed to not be having sex with nobody. Ain't no moving on. It ain't no sex. The Lord never liberated you, woman. That's why if you go to Atlanta, 7 out of 10 of those women got HIV. The Lord is striking these women with pestilence. And he's going to keep striking you all till y'all get it together. Because y'all rebuke the men of the Lord. And a lot of you women who watching probably don't give it a thumbs down. Just all because you don't like what you're hearing. Even though I'm giving you scripture, even though I'm trying to speak that righteous talk, man, even though I'm trying to teach you, you're still going to dislike it. Because if it don't make you feel good, then in your mind, it ain't good. And fuck it, be cut off. I ain't tripping. But Salakia, pardon my language. But it says, let not the wife depart from her husband. And that's exactly what we see in the family courts. Y'all woman is leaving these husbands, leaving these men, hanging them up on alimony. Irreconcilable differences was the best thing that Esau could have gave you, woman, to take advantage and to do evil towards your husbands, man. But it is what it is. It's neither here nor there, but it's reality. It is an actual census fact that 70% of these marriages end in divorce initiated by the woman. So you can argue with the Census Bureau on that, but reality is reality, and us men of the Lord, we deal with the truth. Okay? Now let's go to Mark chapter 9. Salakia. Let's go to Mark chapter 10, verse 9. What therefore God hath joined together, let no Salakia. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. The courts don't have the right to give you divorces, man. It is the husband that has the right. The husband writes the bill of divorce to put you away if you go not his way. And that's what you women do. You all are rebellious because you have another way. You have the Edomite way. You have the Babylonian way. You have Esau's way. Okay? But that's not going to work for you very shortly. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is about to judge you. And he's judging your children. This is why your children are getting killed in the street. And this is why things ain't working out for Jake, man. Because of the disobedience. Okay? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. So, granted, things don't work out, y'all separate. Okay? You're bound to the law. As long as your husband lives, you can't be out here having sex, man. That's fornication. You fornicating, that sexual liberation is a lie. It's a lie. It's a damn lie. Y'all bit it. Y'all bit the apple. This is why Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai put the man over the woman, because you women are deceived easily. Something sounds good to you and looks good to you, you think it's right, and it don't be right. Okay? So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wants the fathers to teach the sons, so when the sons become fathers, they can be give proper leadership to the children and their wives. But as we know, the father has systemically been removed through Esau and Eve's cooperation, through the Judite woman's cooperation, being deceived by Esau's lies and the serpent's philosophies. Okay, and I went over that earlier. But if your husband dies, man, you are at liberty to be remarried, but only in the Lord. It has to be a man of the Lord. It has to be, man. That's just what it is. That's a righteous way. Let's go to Romans chapter 7, verse 2 through 3. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband as long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband. So then if, while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. That's most of you women. That's most of you women, man. All because you want to believe Esau. All because you want to follow his philosophies. You an adulterer. You an adulteress for that, man. But if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married unto another man. So the brother got to be dead, man. You woman, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but I'm just saying you're going to have to just take it how it is, man. It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm not sorry about it, though, because it's the word of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Somebody got to say it. They're not telling you this in the Christian churches, okay? And the iniquity and the transgression is growing amongst our people. And Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai is about to bring severe judgments, and a lot of it is going to be, it's going to take out a lot of Israelites, man. And it's because of the disobedience. So I'm doing my part and giving the knowledge and breaking it down for the body of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, so that there be no excuses, man. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 4. Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. Okay, if your woman go off, brothers, if your woman go off and another man goes into her, you cannot take her back, man. That is an abomination. She is defiled. Okay, let the Lord deal with her at that point. That is a commandment. That is a commandment. So no simping, brothers. No simping, Akim. You know what I'm saying? That's an abomination too. And if she go off and have a kid with another man, and you still love her and still, all simping over her and, loving her and being all in the flesh with her, man, and she come back and you dealing with her and you have a kid with her, that kid might be cursed, man. Because that's a defiled bed at that point. No fruit will come from that. For real. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 32. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery. So brothers, this is serious. I got on these women real bad, man. But it is not necessarily right that we run through these sisters, man. But it's just so wrong in so many ways, because really you sisters should be virgins, man. So it's like, it's just destroyed all the way around. The whole nuclear family and the structure has just been Edomized and Babylonianized, and it's just all destroyed. But for the most part, I still deal with my woman after 10 years, even though she's been a demon sometimes. And, that's how it goes here in Babylon. These women don't respect her, man. But I haven't put her away, and I considered a few times. And it is written in the book of the law that if she goes not your way, you can put her away. But here, Yahweh Shai in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 32, says, whoever shall put away his wife, saving the cause of fornication, unless she's fornicating. And that fornication can be spiritual or physical. Spiritual fornication being idolatry, paganism. We deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to remember Lot's wife, man. She wouldn't turn from Sodom and Gomorrah, and our woman here, a lot of them are not going to turn from Babylon. So in that case, you might have to put her away. Adultery is a form of physical fornication. See, a lot of women don't understand what fornication is. A lot of brothers don't either, because it's never been taught to them from the book of the law. You have spiritual fornication, and you have the physical fornication. Physical fornication is sexual immorality. And spiritual fornication is spiritual immorality. You can spiritually commit adultery on Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, like our forefathers did, baking cakes to the Queen of Heaven, observing these pagan holidays. All that is fornication against Yahweh, man. In our Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, he is a jealous God. You understand? But and we know the physical fornication is like adultery, bestiality, homosexuality, all lesbianism. That's all physical fornication. But you can put her away from fornication, man. Okay? Basically. But it says, let me just go over it one more time. Matthew chapter 5, verse 32. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery. Why does it cause her to commit adultery? Because these women are going to go out and get popped again, man. And it's just the truth. Man, these women man, come on now. Let's keep it real now. So that's why it's kind of our responsibility to be able to, I don't want to say have to suffer a woman, but you do want to try your best to. We know that Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai knows that, Our woman can be demons sometimes, but if she's trying to follow your lead, if she's trying, suffer her, man. Just like Yahweh Shai suffers his children. He could have wrote us off as his sons, man. But you know what? He's going to redeem us, right? There's repentance for us, right? And like I made the correlation earlier, the similarities between a man and his woman is the same similarity between Yahweh Shai and us men. You understand? He's our covering, and we're the woman's covering. So that's why it says that a man who has a wife finds favor in Yahweh, man. Yeah, because then we start to understand things. There's some stuff my wife do, and I get really pissed off about it. I pray about it, and Yahweh shall put it on my heart that, I've pretty much done the same thing spiritually to him. You know what I'm saying? And real talk, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah will get you back for violating him. He'll get you back through your woman. So, I mean, it gets deep, man. If you can receive it, you can receive it, man. But it says, whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery. So, brothers, you don't deal with no woman who got a bunch of kids by other men and stuff like that, man. You simping, you committing adultery. It's just not right. We all know that it's going to take Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to gather us to make it all right again. But for right now, this is just what's righteous. Okay? Now let's go to Mark chapter 10, verse 4 through 5. And they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. And that's what I was just saying, right? And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. Okay? Yeah. I'm bringing it out all the way around. I'm gonna cut the sisterhood. I'm gonna cut the brotherhood too, man. All the way around, But that is a law. We can't put these women away. Divorce was a right given to the man, first and foremost. Okay? But it don't mean that we can deal treacherously with our woman. Okay? It don't mean we can deal treacherously with our woman neither. But let's continue. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1 through 3. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it to her, Salakia, and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. Okay? But that's why I just said, and Yahweh Shai reiterated on that, on the verse I just read before that. And it says, and they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. Okay? But you shouldn't just be putting away these women, man, because what's going to happen, like I just read in Matthew 5:32, she's committing adultery if she lays with somebody else. Okay? And any man who lays with her committed adultery. That's why putting away your woman is like, it can be treacherous, man, because it's like, we have a certain understanding as men. We know what it's going to be. You understand? If you can receive it. You're going to put off this woman. You basically putting her off to condemn herself, because she's going to lay around. She's going to sleep around. Yahweh Shai hates divorce, man. He don't like it for real. And I'm going to get into that. But this all has to do with the defilement of the bed. And I'm almost done. I don't mean to be so long-winded, but I got a couple more scriptures to go. But I'm hitting this from every angle. You understand? In all fairness, in all righteousness, okay? 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12 through 13. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Meats for the belly, and belly for the meat. But Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai for the body. You understand? So even though some things are lawful, it's not expedient. Even though it's lawful, it's not expedient. Meaning, even though it's lawful for you to do certain things, it's not the best thing to do sometimes. A lot of things we're going to have to wait till the kingdom, or at least wait till Esau falls, especially like concerning polygamy. You know what I mean? It's not expedient right now. Because these women are going to get all out of pocket with you. They're going to rebel. Look, you try to be polygamous right now, man. You can have 6, 7 child support cases on you, dog. You know what I'm saying, Akio? It just is what it is because women acquiesce to power and we're not in our power right now. That's why it's written in the book of Psalms, in the day of thy power, they will be willing, man. People are going to be willing. These women are going to be willing in the day of our power. You know what I'm saying? Our people will be willing then. But right now, we're not in our power just yet. We're not in the full maturity of our power, which will happen when the elect gets risen. Then Isaiah 4:1 is going to come into play. Yeah, 7 women's going to cling to 1 man. That's going to happen. You know? But that's another video. You know, I can get a little bit more in depth on polygamy. There's a brother, Aki Ariyah, man, Wrath of Heaven. Wrath of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, man, he goes into polygamy. He does great videos on that shit. But you know, I'm gonna stay in this lot for right now, you know, with the bed defiled. But let's go to Malachi chapter 2, verse 14 through 16. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion, and the wife of thy covenant. Okay? And did not make Salakia, and did not he make one? Yet had the residue of the Spirit. And wherefore one? That he might seek a godly seed. Okay? So when you have a wife, you know, don't deal treacherously with her. Don't just throw her away, man. Unless she's just fornicating on all levels. Just rebellious as all hell. She don't want to get in order at all. Naturally, these women are going to go off. Just like naturally as men, we went off. We go off from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. But still have some mercy and compassion on them. You know what I'm saying? Don't just kick them to the curb because why? She been giving off to adultery, man. That's treacherous. That's treacherous, man. That's like that's like stopping on the beltway and throwing your dog out in the fast lane, man. You know that junk gonna be hit by. You know it's gonna get hit by a truck. You know what I'm saying? So you know when you put your woman away, she's gonna start dealing around and bouncing around from one man to the next. You're dealing treacherously because you're giving her to adultery. You're giving her away to it. You know? And it says also, let me go ahead and read it again. Malachi chapter 2, verse 14 through 16. I'm going to read the whole thing. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion, and the wife of thy covenant. And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit. And wherefore one? That he might seek a godly seed. So when you have children with your woman, man, and you do it in order, your children are going to be blessed, man. Let me continue. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For the Lord, the God of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away. He hateth divorce, man. For one covereth violence with his garment. Okay, and I explain that. Because when you put away your wife, man, that's what dealing treacherously means. Just cause now these women will take it out of line. They'll be like, oh, you're mean to me, or oh, you're being bossy. Nah, that's not what it's saying. You know what I mean? Because honestly, a lot of you sisters be out of pocket, man. So it takes, a real man of the Lord is going to put you back in order. You know what I'm saying? That's not dealing treacherously. That's just bringing you correction. But dealing treacherously is just cutting you off and just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? And throwing you to the wolves, man. Throwing you in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? For you to go off and to basically be destroyed. That's treacherous. You don't do that to somebody you love. But, on the same note, there's an order. There's an order for you women as well. And there's a place for you women. You know what I'm saying? There's a place and an order for men. And it's all going to be right. It's all going to be made right. Because the law, the statutes, and commandments are going to be put inside of us. And that is the new covenant for Israel. So we're going to be made perfect. And you woman ain't going to be bucking up against your men. You're going to love us in the way we're supposed to be loved. And we're going to love our wives the way we're supposed to love them, in that day. So Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, man, we need him to fix us, man. Because that's all we have. But let me continue. Therefore take heed to your spirit that ye deal not treacherously. Okay? So brothers, we're not going to deal treacherously with our woman. That's also going to keep the bed clean and bring forth what? That he might seek a godly seed. Okay? The godly seed going to come out of that. But to keep it real with you, if we go back to the census, statistics, to keep it real, because we're going to keep it a buck here. The men of the Lord are going to keep it a buck. If you look at the census statistics, especially in divorces, 70% of the divorces are initiated by you women. So it's not like a lot of these men are leaving you women. That's not the majority. The majority is you women leaving off these men. And then you go off to be adulterous and commit adultery and be whores amongst other men and bring forth seeds of other men, which is an abomination, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to judge you women for that. But he's going to judge men too. But I'm just saying, we're going to keep it a buck. Matthew chapter 5, verse 33 to 37. Okay? Again, ye have heard it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, nay, nay, yes or no. For whatsoever is more than these cometh evil. And think about it. What this is saying, man, at least how, the spirit of understanding, how I'm receiving this, man. When do you say vows and oaths, man? And it gets broken every single time, man. 70% of the time it's broken. These state marriages. Stop with the state marriages. They are oaths that are broken 70% of the time. A lot of you women is straight up lying to the Most High. Y'all lying to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Y'all say for better, for worse, through sickness and health. You're lying. You're lying because that's not what's going on. Okay? It's not what's going on at all. Stop with these state marriages and stop with these damn, swearing before the Most High. You don't swear before the Most High. Just say yes or no, man. And it says, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. And what comes after these? Evil, lies. You go back on your word. You go back on your oath, man. These state marriages are not blessed and they're not fruitful, and it's stupid because you're holding hands with Babylon when you do that. You're holding hands with Babylon and you're holding on to a pagan tradition. And honestly, brothers, you're giving your power over to a woman when you do that. And you're not supposed to do that. Give not that strength unto women, man. You're not supposed to do that. You're giving your strength to her. And she's going to deal treacherously with you. 70% of the time, at least. Majority rules. 2/3 of them are going to deal treacherously with you, man. 2/3 of these women are going to take you for your money, dog. 2/3 of them are going to take you for alimony. They're going to blame anything. And they love running to monogamy. Because, you're swearing to a monogamous relationship, but you're not created to be monogamous. You're not created. Jake is not created to be monogamous. You understand? All of our forefathers had more than one woman. These women they're so Babylonianized and Edomized in the mind and Westernized in the mind, and they love the ideology of a man being basically her property, being monogamous unto her. They're going to come against it and get mad at what I'm saying, but it's just the damn truth. It's just the truth. That is Esau's philosophy. But Esau liberates the woman and lets her be polygamous. That is not Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's way, and the offspring is cursed, and we see the damage from this. It's obvious within the matriarchal black community, okay? The so-called black community, which is Jacob, okay? I'm going to close it out with Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but the whoremongers and adulterers, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will judge. Hopefully this video is edifying for the body. And until next time, Shalawam.